Good morning, everybody. It's early. It's 5:37 in the morning, and it's Palm Sunday, so we've got an extra long church service coming up, which I like church, but sometimes it gets a little long. But anyway, so I thought I would get this done before I went to church because I'm going to take a long nap when I'm finished with church, and just so everybody knows about that. But it's not like I wanted to get this done, like I don't want to do it. I want to do it desperately. This is the early morning book review of The Witch of Blackbird Pond. Now, I loved this book. You can really tell it is a Newberry Award Medal winner. You can really tell when a book has won or is deserving of an award. And I don't know how to express that to you. This was just a fantastic read. Copyright date 1958, and it was by Elizabeth George Spear. I don't know if she has written other things. I haven't researched it or anything like that. Sorry, I'm still in my pajamas. But anyway, let me set it up for you. This girl, Kit, she lives in Barbados and with her grandfather, and her grandfather dies and she loses all of her money and everything like that. So she has to take refuge with her mother's sister. Her mother's long past, with her mother's sister in Connecticut. I believe it's Connecticut. And so she rides on this boat called the Dolphin, and she makes it across to Connecticut, and she basically just shows up on their door. She doesn't give them any forewarning that she's coming because she's afraid they will say don't come, and she's destitute and she's got to have someplace to live. So Kate, who's from Barbados, first off, she has some character traits that are not, I mean, you have to understand when you're reading books, as I'm sure we've all had this before, is that, you know, your characters will react and have opinions about the time that they live in. Does that make any sense? Anyway, she is really upset that nobody has slaves, that she has to do all of this labor. And Nate, the son of the captain of the Dolphin, is very proud of the fact that they have never had to become a slave ship, because at once she complains about the smell of the ship because they were transporting horses, and he says, well, we'll never have the smell of slaves on here and everything. She's like, well, and how does everybody do their work? So she's got that strike against her, that she wants to know where all the slaves are in Connecticut. They don't have any slaves. But the history that I learned out of this book was wonderful. So The Witch of Blackbird Pond is not Kit. It is an older woman who is a Quaker who lives on the edge of Blackbird Pond, and they all kind of shun her and everything like that, and they all think she's a witch and everything like that. And the Puritans, which I didn't know this, the Puritans, of which Kit's family is a member of, they don't like the Quakers. And I never really, because I thought everybody just sort of ignored the Quakers. I didn't think there was any hatred towards the Quakers. That's how much I know about history. Because the Quakers were pacifists and they kind of stayed out of everything, and they were like very neutral on stuff and everything. But they hate the Witch of Blackbird Pond, and her name is Hannah. And so there's a lot in here. The basic premise of the book, which is what I loved, was about knowledge. Who has the knowledge? Who can have the knowledge? What it means to have knowledge. And by knowledge, I mean the ability to read and write. Who gets educated, who doesn't get educated, and what that education means as a threat to basically the men of the Puritan colony. And It was just a page turner. It was so engrossing. I don't know if it's still on school reading lists. It was on school reading lists when I was in school 100 million years ago. But anyway, I just can't recommend it enough. If you haven't read it, it's a short read. It's not a long book. It's a short read, The Witch of Blackbird Pond. And it has a lot of history steeped into it. It has a lot of, like, even their household chores. I found, how do people survive? In the household chores, and it does have a happy ending, and there is some climax in there. Some people get into stocks and everything like that. Some people are laid out in stocks and all that kind of stuff. But I just adored it. And I think at this time period, when we have so much going around on social media, and we have fake news, and let me just say that I lean left. And so let's be clear about that. I'll probably lose subscribers for that. But knowledge, that was the most important key to Kit's life and to Kit surviving, was because she had learned to read and write and do all sorts of things in Barbados that they never dreamed of letting a woman do in this puritanical community in Connecticut. So, great book, highly recommend. Pick it up, read it. It won't take you 2 days, and I will check you later.